Hi, my name is Leslie, and my best friend Poppy and I were so happy. It was spring break. We were very tired from all our schoolwork and wanted to have fun somewhere new. We didn't have a lot of money, so instead of going far away, we picked a place nearby called Savannah, Georgia. It's a real place with big trees, spooky old buildings, and cobblestone streets. It looked like a place where ghosts might live. We found a little house to stay in called an Airbnb. It was old and creaky, but kind of fun. We wanted to try yummy food, walk around town, and maybe even go to the beach. On the third night, we were eating crunchy shrimp and sipping sweet tea at a tiny seafood place. It was cozy and quiet, like a secret place. I was laughing at something silly Poppy said when, buzz, my phone made a noise. It was a message from someone I didn't know. It said, "Hi." Just that. No name. I showed it to Poppy. She said, "Maybe it's a mistake." I typed, "Who is this?" and went back to eating. Then another message came. It said, "Look outside." I froze. I looked out the window right next to our table. I thought maybe someone was waving at me, or maybe it was a trick from a friend, but there was no one, just people walking. Normal stuff. I told Poppy, and she said it was probably a prank, but I felt weird, like someone was watching me. Then the next message came. It said, "Leslie, my name." Now I was really scared. My hands were shaking. I showed Poppy. She gasped. She remembered something. That first day in Savannah, we went into a coffee shop, and they had a giveaway. Win a free cookie. They asked for our names and phone numbers. "Oh no," I whispered. "They must have gotten my number from there." Now we were both scared. We left the restaurant fast and walked to a big rooftop place with lights and music, hoping to feel better. But we didn't feel better. We sat down, had some juice, and tried to laugh. Then, buzz. A new message. It said, "Nice red jacket." I was wearing my red jacket. I looked around. So many people. But no one was looking at me. Poppy saw my face and said, "We need to go." Now we left right away. We looked behind us the whole way. No one was following us, I think. We ran inside our little Airbnb house, locked the door, and closed all the curtains. We even checked under the bed just in case. We were still hungry, so we ordered burgers from a place nearby using a phone app. We picked "Leave at door" so we didn't have to talk to anyone. We waited and waited. Then, knock, knock, knock. I looked at my phone. It said the food was here. But the food guy was knocking? Usually they just drop it and leave. I peeked out the tiny peephole in the door. There was a big man in a hoodie holding a bag of food. He wasn't smiling. He just stood there. Then he knocked again and said, "Uber Eats for Leslie." He said my name. I said, "Thank you. You can leave it outside." But he didn't move. Then he said, "You need to come sign something." Poppy looked at me. I looked at her. That wasn't right. That wasn't how food delivery works. She pulled out her phone and whispered, "I'm calling 911, just in case." The man knocked harder. Bang, bang, bang. He jiggled the door handle. Then he shouted my name. "Leslie, open up." I was so scared I couldn't breathe. Then we heard it. We a police siren. The man dropped the food and ran. We heard thump, thump, thump on the steps, then yelling. Poppy and I peeked out the window and saw 2 police officers chasing him. They caught him a few houses away and put him in handcuffs. We didn't even move from the window. We just watched. The police came to our door. We told them everything. The texts, the man, even the giveaway from the coffee shop. And guess what? He worked at that coffee shop. He took pictures of the giveaway cards and followed us. The police said he saw we were just visiting and thought we'd be easy to scare. That man had a bad past. He had hurt people before. But thanks to Poppy calling the police and the officers being close by, we were safe. I don't know what would have happened if we opened that door, but I'm so glad we didn't. After that, we just wanted to go home. Savannah was supposed to be fun, but now, when I think of it, all I remember is that red jacket, the texts, and the man who knew my name. Hi, My name is Ella. My best friend Lulu and I went to Barcelona for a fun trip. It was spring break and we were so excited. Barcelona has a big beach and lots of sunshine. We had never been there before. We stayed in a small white house in a place called El Born, not too far from the water. There was even a tiny pool in the backyard. We got there on Thursday and we planned to stay until Monday. On Friday, we went to the beach. We brought our beach towels, put on our sunglasses, and lay in the warm sand. The waves went splash, and the sun was so bright. We were giggling and drinking orange juice when a tall man walked over to us. He had shiny black hair, a soft voice with a funny accent, and he smiled a lot. His name was Victor. He said I looked very nice and asked for my phone number. I didn't think much of it. I gave it to him. He waved and walked away. He didn't ask anyone else for their number, just me. That made Lulu look a little mad, but we laughed it off. Later that night, back at our house, I sent Victor a message. "What are you doing tonight?" He replied, very fast. He said he wanted to hang out and had a friend named Marco. They could come over and then we could all go to a bar nearby. So, they came. Victor and Marco brought drinks. They seemed nice. We sat in the backyard near the pool and listened to music. Lulu and Marco laughed a lot. I think they liked each other. After about an hour, we walked to a bar down the street. It was loud, with flashing lights and people dancing. We had apple juice, not real juice, the kind for grown-ups, and I got a little dizzy. Lulu and Marco went to another part of the bar and I was left with Victor. He smiled and asked what drink I wanted next. "Tequila soda," I said. Then I had to go to the bathroom. When I came back, something was wrong. Victor was standing over the drinks, his head down, doing something I couldn't see. He was too close to the glasses. My tummy got tight. I felt scared. I didn't say anything. I just turned around and walked out of the bar, fast. I tried calling Lulu. No answer. I texted her. "Something is wrong. I think Victor tried to do something to my drink." She finally texted back. Maybe he was just looking at his phone. But I knew. I ran back to our little house in El Born. The door had a code to open it, and it locked after 30 seconds. I was all alone. I sat by the window, waiting for Lulu. I was still dizzy and so scared. Then, jiggle, jiggle. The back doorknob moved. Beep, beep. Someone was pressing the code buttons. Wrong code. Then I got a text from Lulu's number. "Open the back door, he's coming." My heart beat so fast. I yelled, "Lulu, are you okay?" But no one answered. I tried calling her again. No answer. I ran to the front door. There was a peephole, so I looked through it. And I saw him. Victor. He was hiding next to the door. I was too scared to move. Then I got another message. "Hurry, please." But I knew that wasn't Lulu. It was him. He had her phone. He was pretending to be her. I called the police. Minutes later, red and blue lights flashed outside. Knock, knock. I let the police in. One of them asked, "Is your friend blonde?" I said, "Yes." "That's Lulu." He said, "We found her." Lulu came in another police car. She was crying. She had lost her phone, and she had been walking around lost. Someone helped her call the police. The phone I was getting texts from? Not even hers anymore. It was with Victor, or maybe Marco. We didn't even know if those were their real names. Later, we found Lulu's phone in the pool. They threw it in there. We had to leave the house. The trip was over. It was too scary. The police told us that Victor had been using a stolen phone. They said they would try to find him, but we never heard back. I don't ever want to go back to Barcelona again. I still dream about the jiggling doorknob and the texts from someone who wasn't my friend. My name is Danny. I'm little, but this story is about a time when I was even littler. I went on a trip with my best friends, Lily, Tommy, and Bella. We wanted to go camping by the ocean at a place called Padre Island in Texas. It was far from everyone, with soft sand, salty air, and the sound of big waves crashing. We got there late, just as the sun was starting to say goodnight. Everything was orange and purple. It was so quiet. No other campers, no people fishing, just US. Just the ocean. I brought my dog Thunder. He's a big dog with shiny black fur. He loves digging holes in the sand. He was zooming all over the place, wagging his tail and barking at crabs. While we were setting up our tents, Bella pointed at a car in the distance. "Why is that car driving by again?" she asked. I turned and saw it. An old, bumpy SUV going slow down a sandy path near the beach. It passed us once, then again, then again. "That's weird," I said. But we didn't worry too much. We just laughed and got our snacks and fizzy drinks and sat in a circle under the stars. Then, the SUV came back, but this time it stopped. The door creaked open, and a tall man stepped out. He didn't say hi, he didn't smile, he just started walking toward us. His legs moved funny, like they were sleepy. His arms hung low like strings. Lily grabbed my arm. "Who is that?" she whispered. I stood up fast. Thunder growled. A low, rumble-grumble growl that meant something was very wrong. Tommy and I walked over to the man to see what he wanted. "Hi there," Tommy said with a shaky voice. "Can we help you?" But the man didn't smile. He said, "You're on my land." His voice was sloshy, like he drank too much juice. He looked mad. I told him, "We didn't see any signs. We thought this was the beach everyone can visit." Then, he pulled out a knife. A big, shiny, pointy knife. "Go away!" I yelled. Thunder barked louder than the waves and charged at the man. He leapt and chomped on the man's arm, holding the knife. The man screamed. "Ah-gah!" He fell into the sand with a thump and dropped the knife. "Thunder, come back!" I yelled. I didn't want my dog to get hurt. Thunder let go and ran back to me, but he kept growling. The scary man rolled around in the sand, holding his arm. Then, he got up and ran back to the SUV. He drove away so fast the tires kicked up sand clouds. We ran to the others and told them everything. Lily was shaking. Bella was crying. "We need to leave now," she said. "He might come back, with something worse." I agreed, but I was scared of walking back to the car in the dark. What if he hid? What if he followed us? Still, we packed up fast. Lily called the police and told them what happened. When we got close to the parking lot, I saw flashing lights. A police car. I was so relieved. I could finally breathe again. But then, the police officer looked serious. He pointed at my car. "Your tires, they've been slashed." My stomach dropped. The scary man had come back. He tried to trap us there in the dark with no way to escape. The officer pulled out his flashlight and checked the back of the car. I held my breath, but there was no one hiding, just an empty trunk. He helped us fix the car and said we were lucky. "If your dog hadn't been there," he told us, "this could have ended much worse." Thunder sat next to me, tail wagging, tongue out. My brave, growly hero. We never camped alone again. The beach is beautiful, but sometimes the dark hides dangerous things. So if you ever go camping and see a car that comes back again, and again, and again, don't wait. Leave. Hi there, my name is Tommy, and I want to tell you about a super scary thing that happened to me when I was just a little bit older than you. It happened in a big forest with tall trees and tiny animals. This forest was in a real place called Banff National Park, in a country called Canada. One spring, my best friend Lulu said, "Let's go hiking." Lulu was funny and brave, and we always did fun things together. Lulu's mom drove us deep into the woods and dropped us off at a trail called Bear Paw Trail. It was quiet, green, and smelled like pine trees. But oh no. When we got there was a big sign that said, "Trail closed." There was yellow rope across the path. I really wanted to hike this trail. Lulu frowned. "Maybe we can hike another one?" I asked. "Nope, this is the best one." Lulu crossed her arms. We waited. We looked around. No one was there. Then Lulu whispered, "Let's go anyway." And guess what? I said, "Okay." We crawled under the yellow rope and tiptoed into the trail. At first, it was amazing. The birds sang, the trees danced in the wind, and the sunshine peeked through the leaves. It felt like we were in a secret place. We laughed, we jumped in puddles, we ate peanut butter sandwiches, but then Lulu screamed. Ah! I jumped too. What? What is it? She pointed to the ground. Lying right on the trail was a little furry animal, a marmot. That's like a chubby squirrel. But this one was not okay. It wasn't sleeping. It was missing its head. I covered my mouth. Oh no, who would do that? I don't like this, Tommy, Lulu whispered. I didn't either. We looked around, but no one was there. Just trees. Quiet trees. Let's just keep going. Fast, I said. We held hands and walked fast, not talking anymore. My heart went thump, 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 but then we saw something hanging from a tree. It was the marmot again. Someone had tied it up with string. Its little paws were up in the air, and something green and slimy was dripping from it. Drip, drip, drip. Who did this? I yelled. Lulu opened her eyes and saw it, and she screamed. Ah! I grabbed her hand. Run! We ran. We didn't stop. The forest felt darker now. Even the trees seemed scared. Then, we heard it. A scream. A loud one. A terrible one. Not from us. From someone else. It came from behind us. Eeeeee! We stopped running. Just for a second. Was that a girl? Lulu gasped. I don't know. We ran again. I kept looking behind us. I thought I'd see someone chasing us. But no one was there. Then, finally, we saw the yellow rope. We crawled under it fast, like little bunnies. But guess who was waiting on the other side? A park ranger. A real one. He wore a green hat and had his arms crossed. You kids went past the close sign, he said, not happy. But when he saw Lulu crying, he got soft. What happened? He asked. So I told him everything. About the marmot, about the green slime, about the scream. He looked at us and said, "Come with me." He took us to a little ranger cabin and gave us warm cocoa. Lulu's mom came to pick us up and we told her too. The ranger said he'd go look, but we never heard what he found. I don't know who tied up that marmot. I don't know who made that scream. But I do know we were not alone in that forest. And sometimes, when I hear the wind blowing through the trees, it sounds just like that scream. Eeeeee. Hi, my name is Milo, and something really, really spooky happened to me one spring break. I wasn't playing at the beach or riding roller coasters. Nope. I went to help people. My school had this thing called Spring Service Week where kids go to help clean parks or fix old buildings. I thought it would be cool and fun. So I signed up and packed my backpack. We were headed to a tiny place near the woods called Forks, Washington. It's a real town next to a big, foggy forest called Olympic National Park. I was excited. We had juice boxes, snacks, and even walkie-talkies. My team had 5 kids and one big helper named Miss Jenny. She was super nice and wore big rubber boots. We're going to help clean an old cabin, she smiled. Yay, I love cabins. We drove far into the woods. The trees were huge, and the air smelled like rain and pine. But then, we stopped. Miss Jenny pointed. That's it. But the cabin looked old. It had spider webs, and the windows were all cracked. The door was hanging off one hinge. I shivered a little. Let's be brave, said my friend Lucy. So we got out. We started picking up trash around the cabin and pulling weeds. But after a while, it started to feel weird. The birds stopped chirping. The wind got cold. And it felt like someone was watching us. Did you hear that? Lucy whispered. Probably a squirrel, I said. But I wasn't sure. Then I saw something. A shadow. It moved fast between the trees. But I couldn't see who or what it was. My heart went thump, thump, thump. I told Miss Jenny. She laughed. Oh, Milo, probably a deer. But then we heard a noise. It came from the cabin. We all froze. Did the door just open? Lucy whispered. We turned. The door was open, but no one had touched it. Okay, maybe the wind, Miss Jenny said, trying to smile. But the wind wasn't blowing. Then we saw it. A handprint. Right on the glass. But it was smudged and green. Milo, Lucy whispered. I want to go home. I did too. But Miss Jenny said we had to finish cleaning up. She told us to stay close. So we picked up a few more wrappers and cans. But the forest was so quiet now. Suddenly, our walkie-talkie buzzed. Crest! Then, a voice. Hello! Who's cleaning my cabin? We screamed. Miss Jenny grabbed the walkie-talkie. Who is this? This is a school group. No answer, just a whisper. You shouldn't be here. Run! Miss Jenny yelled. We dropped our bags and ran. Our boots hit the mud. Our backpacks bounced. Lucy tripped and I helped her up. The trees looked like they were moving. I kept hearing crunching behind us. Something was following. Something with big steps and heavy breathing. We didn't stop. We just ran. Then, finally, we saw the van. Miss Jenny unlocked it super fast and we all jumped in. I slammed the door shut. And right before we drove away, I looked out the window and saw a face in the woods with glowing green eyes. It didn't blink. It just stared. We didn't talk the whole ride back. That night, we stayed at a little hotel in town. I curled up in bed, shaking. I didn't want to help with cabins anymore. Not in that forest. The next day, Miss Jenny called the park rangers. She told them everything. They said the cabin wasn't even on their map anymore. It had been abandoned for 40 years. So, who was inside? Who left the handprint? And who spoke on the walkie-talkie? No one knows. All I know is this. I went to help people that spring break, but something found me instead.